Es un hombre extraordinario.
Me impresiona mucho.
Pues ¿sabes qué? Yo creo que no es tanto el físico, es más bien la personalidad que tiene y todo lo que proyecta.
Ya me lo imagino con su smoking blanco, un martini en una mano y un costoso habano en la otra.
Provocativo. Atractivo.
A new stereophonic sound spectacular.
Hello there, and welcome to the exciting world of HIP. This is a new departure in language instruction for English-speaking people who want to talk to and be understood by jazz musicians, hipsters, beatniks, juvenile delinquents, and the criminal fringe.
Bonjour madame, bonjour monsieur. Nous allons, grâce à ce disque créé spécialement pour vous, essayer de tirer ensemble le maximum de qualité sonore de votre chaîne haute fidélité.
Sit back, relax, and close your eyes.
Welcome to the Business Agility Podcast, broadcasting from the heart of Montreal, where we dare talk all things agile, conscious leadership, and freedom lifestyle for entrepreneurs you won't hear elsewhere. Here's your host, Alexander Frederick Joly, known as Coach AF.
Yes. Coach AF here with you, Alexandre Frederick Joly, on this beautiful Friday. It's Friday, November the 29th, already 2024. It's going away for all my American fellow friend and entrepreneur and client and all of you guys on the land of the free, home of the brave. Happy Thanksgiving and F you Black Friday. It's really black. It's not black. It's not black. And anyways, who needs a balance sheet? Who needs a balance sheet and these turmoil and everything? So let's rumble a little bit this noon. 11 Central for my guys in Austin, Texas. Charlie, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're relaxing, that you enjoy this holidays. So Charlie in Austin, McAllister in Burbank, California. It's been a long time I didn't go there. And who do we have maybe here on Rumble? Because here's the thing, guys. Today is going to be really polarizing. Oh, it's Boston Bruins or Montreal Canadiens. Oh, is it Give Thanks for Scrum? That was the 60th annual Give Thanks for Scrum. And that was also the 16th annual Agile Tour Montréal. Oh, interesting. We have Scrum Alliance or Scrum Org. We have Agile Alliance or whatever the rest, like those soi-disant community. It's always versus, huh? Oh, Scrum Master versus Agile Coach. Fake debate, false things. So let's see on Rumble because sometimes... So the chat is open. There's Don McDouglas. I know you've been a subscriber of the YouTube channel of Agile Lounge for a while. I remember when I was in Cancun, you were coming and do the clown on my chat. For me, I'm for free speech. You have the choice to look like whatever. So he says to us, like, who will favor a team that let his L's Minuter? Is it Minuter or Minister? Typo. That happened. Promote an experimental VX as an exchange for a hot dog in their home arena front door. Well, if you're talking about the garden in Boston, I don't know shit about that. And you're completely out of topic. So as a Scrum Master, I call the violation, not of your opinion about the VX and the Fauci stuff and but your comment is totally irrelevant, my friend. If you want to talk about that bullshit, that BS, you could go on Rumble, the AGN channel, and they just do this. Okay, so here it's business agility. As Elizabeth just told you at the beginning, it's business agility, empirism, Scrum, enterprise Scrum, entrepreneurship, blockchain. Yes, 100K US this week. Watch it, 113K by the end of the next week. And for you, if you are in Montreal, there's two great events next week. The fuck up Scrum. Yes, we're going to fuck up the Scrum. Actually, you come. It's Wednesday, the 4th of December at the Crew Collective and Cafe, starting at 5. We have about 5-6 tickets left. To make your reservation, because yes, you have to make a reservation, you have to give in. It's the season of giving, because all the profit will go to Welcome All Association for the Homeless in Montreal, and also La Petite Maison, it's a small house, translation type, for single mother and difficulty and economic difficulty. So all the proceed will go to these organizations. And what is a fuck-up Scrum? Well, it's the future of the Scrum beer. I think that for 2025, what you will have to expect from Agile Lounge and yours truly is we're going to do a spring. So in spring, somewhere between February and April, we're going to do a Scrum beer, which is a networking and learning. So that what I have since 2018. And in the fall, September to November, we're going to do a fuck-up Scrum. And a fuck-up Scrum, it's inspired by the fuck-up night in Mexico, where Scrum Master, coaches, consultant, anyone who actually practice Scrum, who's doing Scrum in a certain ways that we're going to see in this episode, 65 episode of the Day Real Agile podcast, by the way, end of month, as promised, we focus, we keep the pace. We keep the pace of a storytelling, and we're going to have a story today. Boston Bruins or Montreal Canadian. Agile Tour or Give Thanks for Scrum. Boston Scrum or Agile Montréal. Make Agile Scrum again. It's in the continuity of this mindset that I propose you a very relaxed, after Thanksgiving, eating the leftover of the turkey that was not killed in Harvard, as we saw in our travel. So we're gonna be full of gratitude and reflection. But, if you want a more in-depth takeaways and a retrospective, a retro future of Scrum that we had in Boston this last Tuesday, and if you are in the Montreal area, you have to join us this Wednesday, the 4th, at the Fuck Up Scrum, because on top of all the consultant, all the people that will express the fuck up with the Scrum system and how they fix it, that's really important part, or they could ask the help of the other people in the open circle and how to fix their kind of fuck up. We're gonna have also Chun, my dear Chun, that I invited to the Agile Boston this year, and she was blown away. I think she was really appreciated. She met with Dr. Jeff Sutherland. She met with my great friend Dan Lefebvre, who I hope he's sipping his coffee right now. And if you're watching it on LinkedIn, please link out. The chat is so much better on YouTube. You have in the comments somewhere in LinkedIn ways to link out and to also subscribe. I'm at 2 to be 1,000 on YouTube. So if you want to in-depth takeaways, it's not today like I did last year here. We're going to do it live. Maybe someone will film us. I don't know. So we're going to do this live at the end of the Fuck Up Scrum, where I will interview Chun and have her takeaway, her appreciation about this. And yes, motherfucker, Don, I was chatting with you at the beginning. Now it's too late. So anyways, assume the responsibility of free speech and assume to be criticized. That has nothing to do about this podcast, your opinion on VX. I couldn't care less. And I'm a proud, natural, pure blood. Anyways. All right. So long. And thank you for all the fish. So let's go back to the topic. So yes, if you'd like an in-depth takeaways and a retrospective on the Give Thanks for Scrum, the future of Scrum, the retrofuturism will happen live with Chun and myself talking about it. Exactly the same format that we did last year at the Scrum Beer. That was a fuck up actually, and I'm really thankful because it's the season of giving. So I was really thankful of Bob Yu, who shared his fuck up with product owner, because how come it's always with the product owner that we have fuck up? Well, it was part of the discussion we had in Boston actually, and that was really funny. And so it was very fun, very enlightening. I think we didn't make history, but it was great. And I do believe that people of the generation of Chun who celebrate their first 2 years as a Scrum Master, I think, for me, my intention when I was there at the Give Thanks for Scrum, that was to provide this new generation a place to speak up, to co-create new things, and we're going to see a couple of it today. But again, join us in Montreal. We have, again, 5-6 places available for you to join us at this great Fuck Up Scrum where we're going to learn together. And so your tickets give you 2 glasses of wine or 2 beers or 2 non-alcoholic beverage. We're going to have like either a New York pizza or some kind of great dishes, great starters made by the chef Joey. And great ambience, great setting, the new crew collective. So I can wait to see you at this Fuck Up Scrum Montreal. That is the event. Way better than Agile Montreal because we try to bring value creation, something meaningful for you, and a great space, an open space over safe space. Who wants safety if you want a real market of ideas? And there's a survey on YouTube. You could choose between Boston Scrum, Agile Montreal, but also between the WEF, you're going to eat the bugs, and the ARC, the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship. Yes, because the empirical process and Scrum, and make Agile Scrum again. Because Scrum, when it's well understood, when it's well applied, and it's open, decentralized, democratic, substantive, you deliver for real better value, smarter value, all the time to your customer. But if you do it like one of my friend in Boston, Anne, that I salute by the way, Anne used to mention, great after give and take dinner, and I agree with her. Why people hate Scrum that much? It's because a lot of people, I will say like up to 90% of North American and even European, they apply Scrum within a setting of the PMI. So it's water, scrum, fall, and it's Taylorism. It's a sausage machine of bullshit, and they don't even stick to the story. They don't even be able to kind of impress, or improve, should I say, not impress. I'm not dressed to impress. And next week, for those that saw in Montreal, Bitcoin Montreal, yeah, Bitcoin. It's going to celebrate the 100K US because we're going to reach it. Like I'm going to reach 1,000. Because my 1,000 on YouTube, it's exactly like the 100,000 valuation of one Bitcoin. I'm at 994, 997, 998. Now I see 999 right now. So just one of you. And if I lose Don because he's not happy of accepting his responsibility of having a non-on-topic chat, although that Don, I agree with you. And by the way, these hot dog thing was all across the United States, not just in Boston. Do you know that? It's your country, or I don't know where you're from. Tell us in the chat, Dan. Give us some more stock and choose between Boston Bruins and Montreal Canadiens. Choose between Scrum and Agile, and choose between the WEF and the ARC. Because the great split that started in 2022, it's coming to a chasse. And if you are not, by 2025, 2026, if you not choose your camp, you cannot sit in between chair. Let me tell you that. All right, so enough of Alex Jones Jolie. Let's get into why I favor Agile Boston over Agile Montreal. Because the Agile Tour Montreal is too big a team. It's too centralized and focus on process. That's my experience. When I was looking, that came up. I was not supposed to do a podcast. I was supposed to just take something that I have in the register. But I saw some, again, the clown of LinkedIn. Those who posting thing on LinkedIn. Like me, I'm a clown too. Yeah, MTFS. So anyways, I saw a couple of posts and I saw like the gigantism of Agile Tour Montreal. And I remember last year when I brought 2 great PMI guy with me, they really appreciate the fact that yes, the Give Thanks for Scrum especially is a smaller event. It's more intimate because we need this quality of presence. We need that exchange, that great networking, and it's higher. And I remember they told me, and also Chun told me, and some other, like when they look at the webinar that they do at Agile Boston, if you subscribe to their YouTube channel, you could see it sometimes and everything. All the link will be on a pine comment of YouTube and Rumble, don't worry, of everything I talk. So for me, that's the thing. That's the value I'm looking for. That's the kind of this sense of belonging that I'm looking for. So even if I'm a proud French Canadian from Montreal with a cosmopolitan family, and my family, my uncle on the Métis Abenaki French Canadian side had married like Italian, Polish, sometimes whatever. Like my mother was like completely like fucked up. Like I grew up with a Calabres and my father was Polish, and we have in the family like people from Haiti, and it's like Pasea, and so it's really cosmopolitan. So I couldn't care less about the Quebec-Canada situation. I'm a proud Montrealer for sure. My city, it's great, it's beautiful. Okay, we have good thing, but admit it. Yes, Montreal Canadiens are the champion, but the real kind of rivality was not between Quebec Nordic and Montreal Canadian. It was not between Maple Leaf and Montreal. It always been between Boston Bruins and Montreal Canadian. And I'll tell you why. Because of this Irish conspiracy. The Irish community of Montreal is as big and even bigger than the one in Chicago and Boston and even Halifax. So that's why in our flag we have this shamrock. And French Canadian and Irish have a lot in common. And actually, Boston and Montreal have a lot in common. For university, research center, innovation. You know, Envision AI that I salute, and I'm going to meet also at the crew next week. He was one of the pioneer in data research, data mining research for automation and building the AI we know today on the PS thing. So, and he worked with people at Harvard Business combined with MIT. So often the Polytechnic of Montreal work in collaboration with some space of the MIT, especially in technology and communication. Montreal is the hub of aerospatial. Do you know that? From Pratt & Whitney to MDSA to CAE and l'Agence Spatiale Canadienne, the Canadian Space Agency, is here on the south shore of Montreal. So we are a great center of innovation. We have great brain, cosmopolitan, not just French or English, from all around the world that contribute to this great city of Montreal, same in Boston. But when it comes to the real McCoy of agility with Scrum, with the Scrum project management process that became Scrum product management, that became Enterprise Scrum with Mike Beadle for business agility, agilize everything. Everything in the greater Boston, where the co-creator of these systems are from, Lexington, for Ken, and I believe also for Jeff. And so, for me, going back to the sources, going back to where it's all started in the late 90s, and I live and work for about 2 years in Boston in the early 2000s, working for J2M, go-to-market. We were the pioneer like Neuron here in Quebec, of the digital transformation and the e-commerce acceleration of transforming a static website to a transactional website. Can you imagine that? And we were like, so go-to-market, that was the name of the society. And we were doing Scrum. It was my 5th anniversary. It's my 25th anniversary that's I was introduced to Scrum. I'm not saying that I have 25 years experience because I did other things. I've got 3-4 businesses. I'm an entrepreneur first. So for sure, I'm 30 years entrepreneur. But I acted as a Scrum Master probably 18 years out of these 25 years because I was introduced at SoftSim Technology here in Montreal, South Shore, to Scrum by 2 engineers that they say, no way, Jose, you won't be a project manager. You need to be our Scrum Master. We need to do incremental development. That was for sure. It's too complex. And here's the thing. You have high-level conversation at Agile Boston, whether they are their monthly webinar that you could subscribe to if you go to agileboston.org and subscribe. It's worth it. It's not worldwide. And this Give Thanks for Scrum, the Tuesday of Thanksgiving week, and a great setting in Burlington, Massachusetts, surrounding by a lot of IT company, and then bringing people from all across the United States mostly, and some, we were like 5 Canadian, if I remember, 1 from Ottawa. Don't remember his name exactly, but I met him. The other 2, probably, I skipped it. Sorry about that. great people, amazing conversation. It's a small setting, and we did an open space this year. It was even better to do it in this way. I think it's if I tell you, Daniel, and Joe, congratulations, kudos to you, and let's do it again for the 17 next year. An open space is so much better. We interact between each other instead of just having lecture. And here's the thing again. When I start seeing the picture of Agile Tour Montréal, with those big room, those big screen, you know, like the monster truck show of things and process, and it makes me think of two things. A lot of people say Agile is dead. And the market right now, a lot of Scrum Master have to become Agile project management. They have to do the DA thing, Discipline Agile thing, or to go back to PMI. Their CSP or their PSM3 doesn't work anything. They ask them to have a PMP. And all the French-Canadian market, especially in Montreal, the big bank, the big insurance company, they say they do Scrum, but they do water Scrum fall, or as Anne Brea put very beautifully, it's Taylorism Scrum. No decision management, no clarity of authorization, no open pattern, no nothing. They do nothing. And Agile Montréal as an institution that organized the Agile Tour, because an Agile Tour, it's something worldwide. It's not necessarily from Montreal, but it's in many cities, also Vilnius. I have to shout out my great Suryu friend, who talk about substantial architecture with robotic invented. She did it at Agile Tour Vilnius. And she did it also at the Scrum Alliance gathering back last summer. So, for me, even if I try to be agnostic, sometimes I'd like this, like, same as we do in sports. Are you a Bruins? Are you a Blackout? Are you a Giants? Are you a Celtic? Are you a Montreal Canadian? Whatever. It's kind of fun to have this kind of rivalry. But I'm not proposing you today to talk about the rivalry. It's just like about a sense of value. Why do you go to these events? Is it to show off that, oh, I was there? Is it to meet people and learn from them and teach them in a collaborative, cooperation, current way? Is it to look for a job? I don't know. There's a lot of ways to network. For me, it's more to learn and to appreciate having my ideas confronted and disturb some other people, but all in a positive setting. And when I went a couple of years ago at the Agile Montréal, I felt it's too big. I should say Agile Tour Montréal. It's too big, and you see cliques of people. It's very silo and compromise and what have you. So I don't see any value in that. It's like a big shopping center where you lose yourself. It's like driving in the 1030 or any kind of outlet. And it's kind of a job fair at the same time. And from the same people who say, don't put Scrum Master in your CV, they want someone who will deliver in a Taylorist way. They denature what is the Agile software development principle. They denature and all the speakers have less experience than a lot of my colleagues, even in Montreal. Some of the subjects are meaningless, often. We are at a time, as I told, we are in a split right now. You have to choose your camp. You have to develop something for the progress of our society, not just the world of work. And what if I told you that my 3 days with PMI Ottawa was more meaningful than the Agile Tour Montreal was in 2013? Because that's the last one I did, because I said, I have enough of those BS people talking shit about agility, making it just like an Instagram. I was there. PMI Ottawa, classical project management, really. They were like more welcoming. They are more open to ideas. And they bring a sense of innovation that never seen before. If you could really compare PMI Ottawa, PM Evolve, I think they do it every November. I don't know, but I would like to collaborate with them. I think they deserve our attention. It's more. It's if you have like between $300 and $500, and that's the thing too. Why so expensive for Agile Montréal? You pay what? You pay your lecturer? They should volunteer. It should be something for the community. But anyway, that's another subject. But anyways, for me, why do I favor Boston Scrum over Agile Montréal? It's first because I favor Scrum. Scrum empirical system, it's at my sense something that it's very simple to understand. It's also very simple to apply. Those who find it complex, it's because they don't understand the power of substantiation architecture. Because the future of Scrum lies into the blockchain protocol model. The definition of done should be changed for proof of work, because quality is key, is not the speed with productivity and velocity that count. The proficiency of a Scrum team is calculated about the quality of the feedback that you receive after your increment. Quality is key, and it's all about the team, and the team have to be smaller. And my most critic to Agile Montréal and their big event in November, and of course I generalize here. I'm not saying like everyone at Agile Montréal is a goofy. There's a lot of quality people there too, including my mentee, and I embrace it, don't get me wrong. But when I choose my camp, when I choose my tribe, blindfoldly I will choose Agile Boston and in a nutshell over Agile Montréal for sure. Why? Because it could be bigger, but they decide to make it smaller, to create this quality as key. Okay? This proven value that you receive. Okay? You're not dispatching yourself to 75 rooms with a job fair. No. We concentrate on a value proposition. This year was Future of Scrum, because we have to choose. And the same with PMI Ottawa. That was the future of work with AI. AI is coming into its chasm. Last week, I had about like 155 views on Rumble and less than 20 for combined LinkedIn and YouTube about what do artificial intelligence, blockchain, and business agility have in common. Simple. It's the innovation, the fact that we'd like to progress, and the fact that all of those things be coming to a chasm. It's a split. You have to choose how you will take it as an advantage, or you're going to stay a loser. You have to prove yourself as a Scrum Master, in this case. You have to show that you're going to bring value. So, let me read you something like more positive now that I said like why I will choose Boston over Montreal to participate. And next year, don't expect me at Agile Montréal either. I will still go in Boston for the 17 Give Thanks for Scrum. It's better. It's funnier. It's more meaningful and everything. So let me express you now verbally what I express by a post yesterday. So my gratitude and reflection to give thanks for Scrum at Agile Boston this year. This year, Give Thanks for Scrum event at Agile Boston was truly inspiring and a testament to the power of collaboration and innovation in the Scrum community. And this, I don't see it when Agile Montréal propose something. It's always about process. It's always about tool. It's always about doing it better, they think. But the problem is they misunderstood the power of Scrum. They misunderstood agility as they see it only in a tailor-risk way, in a linear way. So it's Agile become the new waterfall with community like Agile Montréal. But at Boston, it's really a testament of the power of collaboration and innovation. It's something real, it's something straight to the point, it's something succinct, and a smaller team, a smaller setup of about 150 people instead of thousands of people that go do their Agile fashionista on Instagram. I was there, and not often meaningful people that go there, or they seems to be very expensive because it's very expensive to get a ticket to Agile Montréal. So I continue about that. Like, as I celebrate my 25 years of being introduced and exposed to Scrum and doing Scrum, I'm filled with gratitude for the opportunity to empower a new generation of Scrum professionals, from exploring Scrum with AI for repetitive and low-value tasks to thought-provoking discussion on agency, substantiation architecture, and decentralization. The event reaffirmed the importance of continually evolving and adapting our practice to the society and movement and to the customer needs and employee needs. I don't see that either at Agile Montréal. And by the way, on this, I'm going to do probably next week is in French. As you know, the first Friday, it's my Café avec Frédéric. So probably we're going to have something like just before Christmas on Friday the 13th. I'm going to address the talent Agile. I'm going to address like this role and responsibility about this, like go further into how do we improve the experience of the employees and everything. How we are really a leader who serve. And how do we also interact. I will put this talent Agile special episode 152, I think, of the Friday Live Agile on Friday the 13th. So it's a rendezvous. And then I continue about my reflection and gratitude about the Agile Boston. One special highlight that this year for my 7th presence was witnessing the first year of Chun. Chun, je te salue, ma chère. I was so glad to be with you and to bring you there and to the real McCoy of Scrum. So Chun celebrated his 1 year as a Scrum Master. A huge kudos to her for stepping into this critical role. Yes, it's a critical role. It's been an honor to support your journey, her journey at Chun. And I'm thrilled to see her thrive. And I was thrilled to see her go to the microphone and ask questions to Jeff Shutterland and Dave West. That was amazing. And one of her questions actually sparked the three on the panel. There was Ryan Ripley, Jeff Shutterland, and that was amazing. That was amazing. Like a straight to the point kind of question about the AI use of nodes and stuff. And she sparked a fire among them, and even a debate about how AI is an assistant, or AI could overthrow human and this and that. So kudos to you, my dear. You're on the right track. And as Dan Lefebvre, I think, told you when I introduced you, he said like, oh, or it was Daniel Mizik, I don't remember, but they told her, oh, 1 year, it's about 10 years nowadays. So a 1 year Scrum Master, especially bright like her, especially like, you know, passionate about it, wanting to do this like she does. So I wish so much for her that she will be able to work in a better setting, to apply the real Scrum, to make it work, not impose like terrorism. But anyway, I kudos to her journey, and I hope that she's going to be able to develop it even further, because Scrum and Agile is far from that. We're going to need it more and more for the next 4 or 5 years with the chasm of AI, the chasm of the blockchain and the Bitcoin, and all of these things, like creating a lot of VUCA, a lot of complexity. So we'll need Scrum, and I will go right away after this about a proposition about it. So that was my one special highlight for this year, having Chun with us. It was an honor, and I hope she liked it. She will tell us in the comment of this video if she passed by. And heartfelt, really, thank you. Thank you so much to Daniel Mizik, to Anne Brea, to Joe De Laurentiis. I'm sorry, I remember like a director named De Laurentiis, or this. Sorry about Joseph. You recognize yourself, and all the team behind. That's Pooja, I think, who originally invited me to Agile Boston, and to the entire Agile Boston community. This is a real community, by the way, for fostering such a welcoming space to learn, a warm, feel, very great environment to learn, share, and grow together and different. So here's to the next chapter of innovation and empowerment and Scrum. with the real McCoy Scrum, and here's to the new generation of Scrum Masters that will use it better and smarter. Before I'll go to what I did there very quickly about my question that I asked in this open space on the future of Scrum, how could the blockchain protocol principles inspire new ways of building smarter Scrum team? I'd like to read you from Daniel Mizik. I think he posted it yesterday before putting his turkey into the oven on the empirical process 24-25 edition, 2025. We're already in 2025 anyways. So what follow is Daniel Mizik post on LinkedIn. The link will be there too on the Pine Common after this show. And I would like to read it to you because I think it's very meaningful, it's very powerful, and that should spark you. Tell yourself, if you're a Scrum professional or if you're a pretend Agile, whatever, it should spark yourself to really be in a transformative mindset, to really be into the evolution of our society, of our collective, as much as your individuality as a professional. Because for me, it's a great resume, and I much agree with Daniel, but I disagree on some point, but I would like to stay on the positive, the constructive aspect of sparking you to wake the F up and start doing something for real and start simplifying, because agility was meant for that. It was meant to react to this complexity of volatility of the market, the uncertainty of the demand of the customer, the complexity of the ever-evolving technology, and also the ambiguity sometimes of many stakeholders and within team. And by the way, to Chun, as you heard from Dave West, as you heard from Jeff Shutterland, a message to the leader of Chun at a company I won't name here. If you catch it, Chun, you could use it to tell them, manage the decision. Take a good, great decision of having dedicated team, not matrix team, and having dedicated Scrum Master to help them grow according to the maturity level of how they could use the process and how they know the technology. Make it simple, okay? If you have less Scrum Master, yes, give them more team, but equilibrate it. Which is like, let's say up to 5 teams, 2 should be mature enough to don't need a Scrum Master in the daily. That's my tip to you guys. And now let's go into what follow now. It's Daniel Mizik writing, not mine, on empirical process for this year of 2025. Daniel says, I am now convinced that any kind of Agile or Scrum training is completely unnecessary. Assuming 100% willing people, a knowledgeable coach consultant can simply start any work group with some of the core elements of Scrum, and they will get traction right away. You can add on more dimension from there. Exactly, Daniel, and this is exactly what I do for the last 6 years. By the way, in 2016, when I start with eShoppers, Urban Acolyte in Austin, Texas, my friends that I met at Yelp in San Francisco, and they had a startup of microservice API and affiliation management microservices. They asked me to help them build their company on a Scrum-based manner, and we didn't do any fracking training. We start with one team, the first team that was there, and we did go with exactly what Daniel is going to describe right now. So yes, it's working because it's not learning in practice or do your fracking logo play or your stupid games or mind game of HR or whatever. No, you have to practice it. It's rugby, it's football, it's ice hockey, it's the Boston Bruins, for God's sake. They win more Stanley Cup later than what Montreal Canadiens did. Anyways, that was for fun. So, assuming 100% willing people with a knowledgeable coach, like me and Daniel, can simply start any work group with some of the core elements of Scrum, and they will get traction right away. You can add on more dimension from there. Yes, apply what we teach them. So, for example, Daniel says, This subset of Scrum can add does work. So roles, product owner, team, stakeholders. Artifacts, very simple. Online Kanban board. Online Kanban board, that's it. Rules, 1. Iteration are 1 week long. 1 week, a great week. 2. Only the PO can make prioritization decision. Yes, he's responsible, he's on it. 3. Only the team can decide how much during planning. Exactly, only the team. Not the PO, not any leader, only the team. 4. Stakeholders must promise to be present at review time to provide feedback. And this is, we suggest, about 30 minutes a week. So stakeholders, which is could be the user, could be whoever, like, need to provide feedback to the team. And a product review. And 5th, and lastly, PO and team must promise to attend all events. And the events? 1. Backlog refinement for 30 minutes a week. And 2. Review, retro, and planning for about an hour a week. And that could be, yes, that could be that. I know it's not Scrum. It's not your pure little, like, follow the book. But this is working. It worked for me at eShoppers. It worked for me at CVS Carmark. It worked for me with some other team that I cannot name right now. And the blockchain is excellent. The blockchain team inspired me to even go further and more clear that what Daniel proposed here, and to this iterative process-driven value creation. Okay, so now Daniel note, a promise is a good faith statement of intent, not an absolute guarantee. So that's why you're not committed now, you just promise that you're going to do these things. The above is clearly in Scrum, and that's 100% okay, as Daniel tells us. Okay. So almost only willing work group will get instance progress using just this. And I testify that that's true with the eShopper experience that I had, even before reading Daniel thought on this. I did that in 2016, exactly what he mentioned. Or not exactly, but part of this. Scrum itself as a container or a framework is actually a complete fabrication. It's a made-up story. Exactly. This is exactly what I hear and see on any Agile Montréal event or any Agile tour. It's always like this. They just do complete process fabrication, made-up story. And if you will, also known as BS. And note it again, this is also true for any other so-called framework. All framework are fabrication container. There is no time box. There is no physical box of time. Time is the 4th dimension, so it's me adding it. Like Daniel continue, it's a construct. Something with the sprint, the entire bonded structure of it is a complete fabrication. The fabrication brings the perceived sense of structure, and with structure, comfort. It's going to be okay. We're going to fail, but it's going to be okay. Most people, Daniel continues, are 100% allergic to uncertainty, allergic to liminal state, allergic to not having a story, thus the user story fragrance, about what is happening now. Yes, so frameworks, structure by clear roles, artifacts, rules, and events provide a coherent story about what we are doing. And Daniel continues, after a while, we learn that not knowing everything is 100% okay. And by the way, agility from the Agile Consortium before the manifesto was about the right to make mistakes and learn fast from those mistakes. So it's totally correct, as he mentioned here, and couldn't agree more. Because, this is what Daniel had, the team can learn and get traction almost instantly by behaving in an improvisational, empirical way. Exactly. Improvise is better than scripted when you like to learn the value creation of that empirical system. And Daniels continues, Scrum provide a story about those activities which are at the core a form of improvisation. Almost every one of us, the human, is a sucker of a current story, even if that current story is a total fabrication. And remember, fabrication could synonym of BS. And that is because everyone has a need for the perceived sense of control. We need to be in control of our own life, right? Nassim Haramein told us that last week in a seminary that I couldn't attend because I was at Agile Boston. But Nassim Haramein in the Unified Science, using the empirical process, says he has enough of all those gurus out there, and that mimic into Scrum coach and to Agile coach, they do the same BS. Stop saying that you create your own reality, because you'll end up alone. Because if you have your own reality, what is the current collective or common reality? Again, Costa Gavra. You would like to live in a world you love, but we live in a world as is, with other. You have to collaborate with other. You have to deal with other. You have to negotiate with other. So, summary from Daniel. Great post yesterday. At the extreme, the need of currents leads to polarizing debate about right or wrong frameworks, right or wrong ideology, right or wrong dogma, etc., etc. So this is why I made it on Express. I was intentionally putting Boston Scrum as Boston's Bruins and Montreal Canadian as Agile Montréal, just to create this sense of which one is over or versus what, because it's always a polarization of things. But at the end of the day, we are better than that. We are smarter than that, and we go above and beyond that. So, continue the summary of Daniel. Moral of the story from Daniel: to get results with empirism, all you really need is willing people who are willing to play along and act as if they can't know everything up front. And this is exactly what I experienced in 1999 with my first Scrum team at SoftSim Technology with Mick Callister, that I salute again, and Jean-Yves Simoneau. Two engineer and enterprise architect that told me, Jose, you won't be a project manager. This is too complex. We need you to invite capable people. And last time I heard capable people to replace the willing people of Daniel here was with my mentor and friend Mike Beadle, who said, Agile, Scrum, Kanban, DevOps, what have you frameworks won't solve your problem of incompetence. Period. So you see, there's a continuity here in that bedtime story. So my thought, which is my reply on Daniel, I said, I find it as funny and instructive. It seems exactly what we do in my tribe of entrepreneur and creator for the last 20 years. Yes. And we are aware that we aren't asleep. We move with flow like descending the Colorado River, always into action and to transform action, always inspecting and adapting, inspecting and respecting each other limits. We learn to fail fast and get up faster. And post-Christum, I got three sort of Scrum team that had fired the product owner right now that I'm supporting, who wasn't the real owner of the business or the product anyway, and they replace him by a GPT that take care of managing, refining, and ordering not a backlog, but a VCL. Do you know what a VCL is? It's a value creation list. That's what the team called it. And they asked the AI with their feature, component, anything, could you refine our value list, our value creation list? Ever since then, our proficiency had skyrocketed at each increment, and the satisfaction of the user has also skyrocketed. Quality is key, and we have the proof of work model of the blockchain in terms of process-driven and product review. Process-driven, retrospective, and product review increment. So, on the bedtime story, that's a clin d'œil to Daniel, for those who absolutely need control and command boundaries and comfort, they may want to try ASMR Scrum. Do you want to try ASMR Scrum? Go back to sleep. Go back to sleep and do the PMP. Don't do Scrum. Do Waterfall Scrum. I love you, brother. Enjoy your turkey. 4 6-week challenge. I will change your enterprise. Coaching the executive. Music executive power. Make Agile Scrum again. Just do it well. Decentralize and have agency. So, that's that for my fun Their Real Agile podcast number 65. I'm open to question if some of you are there. I don't know now. I'm going to have to go to LinkedIn because I just saw the Rumble and X on my main channel. And I'd like to conclude maybe before I open it up for the chat. If beside Don, we would like to talk about Fauci and hot dog and whatever, that is not relevant to our discussion. If you have something about Scrum, about do you favor Montreal yourself, and how is the survey about that actually? Let's see it here. Do we have? No, I don't see any other comment. So you could still watch it after. So no chat in LinkedIn. So anyways, I see about 61 people looking. Probably it's X and Rumble winning again. LinkedIn and YouTube, it's too much for them probably. I don't know about it. But let me conclude maybe on what I did into the open space. I did propose this question: how could the blockchain protocol principles could inspire new ways of working and new ways of building smarter Scrum team? And the discussion I had with about 5-6 people was not really popular, but I know it was very disruptive. So 6 people participate and 1 bubble B came into the room. So when they asked the question, what are the key points raised during the discussion, list below about that question. So we talk, of course, about governance, architecture, system based on subsumption. If you'd like to know more about it, I'm going to put a link in a pinned comment for the work of Sue Ryu, inspired by the ideas of Mike Beadle. Enterprise Scrum is all based on this. It's the signature pattern of a governance, at least distributed network of interaction. Second, we have the proof of work that verify the value creation more efficiently than the definition of done that we have in Scrum. That is a fact for me after 5 years of doing it. And thirdly, the key point raised during the discussion was Scrum should be realigned as a system thinking more than a framework. Absolutely. I always say that Scrum is mostly a system based on the empirical system control, and you could configure it the way you need according to your technological, business, and market context. And fourthly, blockchain way of working shares similar value with Scrum and agility. Transparency, autonomy, focus, clarity, engagement, commitment, etc., etc. So, and the next steps after a future of Scrum that could inspire itself by the blockchain protocol principle, I said that from that exploration that we did that morning, how could we inspire Scrum Master and other professional in Scrum or process leaders or change leader who serve to develop and improve Scrum as a system that deliver value. So that's one of the kind of a to-do for us as a community member. And we might also want to look at Mike Beadle's subsumption architecture model of governance and the enhancement of that protocol made by Suryu and the gentleman that, if I don't have his name, I should have been prepared. Sorry about that. I hope he won't hate me. I should be more prepared next time. So lessons learned for me. So Sue, if you watch this, please put his name of your colleague in the comment to give him credit because he has much as you into it. It's adding, because you guys add this robotic and physics dynamic, which is very good to understand it. And you explain it better than me. Actually, I wish you were there, Sue, in this little open cell of the open space, because sometimes I did struggle about the substantial myself, even if I'm a dropout of physics. So anyways, this could improve, yes, definitely. That will improve the Scrum empirical system big time. So, inspired by the blockchain teams that I work with in the last 5-6 years, I see that I could enhance my Scrum team. So it's a win-win. If I look at the blockchain and DeFi team that I have, and I reapply it into cybersecurity, digital transformation, and other stuff with Scrum team, the blockchain team with their protocol inform the betterness of the Scrum team. That's my experience, though. The proof of work, it's a lot more clear. I think I said that already. Yes. Then the elusive blah blah DOD with acceptance criteria. So we need agency, which is more freedom, because without choice, without capacity, without agency to make choice, you don't have freedom. Freedom of work the way it should be and not the way it is, because the way it is not congruent, is not providing any meaningful value. And we need to be into a decentralized substantive team with clear authority of what they do. And if we hire a subject matter expert on something, could we listen to her and to him and not giving him or her orders to do? And this boosts engagement, therefore quality of work is delivered. And this is why I inspire myself from my blockchain teams to enhance my Scrum teams. Okay, so I think it's a repetition here. So that's it for today. Goodbye, November. Welcome, December. So next week, Friday, the 6th of December, it's going to be un café avec Frédéric in French. And the week after, I'm going to talk about this need of improvement from the talent acquisition specialists that, again, need a reminder of all of what we talk. And if, again, to conclude, Agile Montréal, what's wrong? What's wrong with you guys? Yes, you're thousands of people. It costs an average of $500 to get there. And you have fashionista flooding the feed of LinkedIn and Instagram. But let me ask you a question. Why don't you educate those companies that sponsorize you, that don't even do Scrum properly? Thank you, Charles. So I'm really questioning it, because everybody is going like fashionista to the Agile Tour Montréal by 1,000. They sit down and listen like in a church. But what do you bring home? And what do you do as a community of coaches to actually invite and consult those companies that when they put job requests, don't talk about Scrum. Just talk about Agile Project Manager and emphasize on your delivery. Scrum is dead. No, Scrum is not dead. It's new. And he's evolving faster than anything. And Charles, as you hear, thank you, my friend. I mentioned earlier in the show, and I will mention it again, your PMI PM Evolve Ottawa was way more disruptive and evolving and appreciative of learning something than the Agile Tour Montréal. And this is why I choose Agile Boston, because Agile Boston is the same warm welcoming that you did in Ottawa last week. And actually, I took the mic in the closing session of the open space, praising PMI Montréal as being exactly more agile than some other agile group around North America. And I said, from AI with the future of work to the future of Scrum, the link is as project manager, Scrum Master, and maybe product manager, because the product owner, get the F out. We don't need you. We have AI now with smart subject matter expert, facilitated by a Scrum Master. We have value to help, and what Daniel Mizik says, of a coherent story. This is what we need, and I would like to close on this. Yes, my friend Dr. Iwe, it's more a social event than an educative one. I don't know if you refer to Agile Montréal, but it has to be a bit of both. Agile Boston is definitely educative and meaningful and producing value. And definitely, yes, it was. And I hope to be there with you next year and maybe welcoming you in Boston. That will be nice. So we're going to talk about it very soon. So again, guys, remember who you really are. You are wonderful. You are powerful. And that power resides in your choice of being free, and to be free of being whoever you wanted to be and to do whatever you wanted to do in respect of one another. On that, happy Thanksgiving again to my American folks, and happy weekend. See you next week in French and next one in English, Friday the 13th.